Let's take a look at logging that's available to us with Zscaler Internet Access. So I have a number of dashboards available to me showing general traffic information, which provides a high-level overview for up to 7 days. These are customizable. I have dashboards for web, for security, showing me the advanced threat information, the kind of cloud applications that are being used. This is my CASB information, giving me the risk score and the usage of these applications. I can look at my DNS traffic that's coming through my firewall modules, and I can look at the overall firewall traffic to tell me what traffic is passing through and being applied policy for firewall. I have information of bandwidth control if I was using that, as well as O365 traffic passing through the cloud based on locations and users to show me the quantity of O365 traffic. I can then drill down and I can look at comparison for things like my risk score compared to my industry vertical, compared to other organizations, and understand the risk score for comparative other organizations in my vertical that we see across the Zscaler cloud. I can further drill into that with my peer comparison report in terms of number of transactions based on how much I'm blocking. Obviously, I'm blocking quite a lot for my demonstration, where on average my peers are doing less than 1% blocking at a transaction level, which is relatively low compared to the cloud average. We can compare ourselves and just see whether or not we're in the same ballpark as other industries in my vertical and other industries across the Zscaler cloud platform. The security audit report tells me about how well I have my platform configured in terms of, again, the industry standard for our platform. So I'm not using GRE tunnels, so it comes up as blank. I'm using pack files to configure my Zscaler client connector that dictates which service instances I should use. My authentication frequency, my pack file is low in terms of its size, so that drives efficiency. I haven't got the one-click configuration enabled, so I get a B for Office 365. And because I'm not using GRE or IPsec tunnels, I don't need to worry about IP visibility, so this is grayed out. So overall I have a good score, but this would highlight any configuration information that I should consider adopting or looking into changing my configuration to get a better service, better quality of service through the Zero Trust Exchange. My security report will tell me about what security configurations I've got available. It's given me a B because I don't have everything SSL inspected, but I do have SSL inspection enabled. I don't have Cloud Sandbox enabled for all of my traffic, so maybe I should consider looking at my Cloud Sandbox policy. I can look at my sandbox activity. I really don't have a great deal of files passing through the sandbox for the last 7 days, so it's not going to give me any information. So we can then drill into Web Insights. And so Web Insights gives me the overall traffic information for a period of time. So I can drill in, let's have a look for the previous month of traffic, click Apply, and it'll show the traffic pattern across there. I can change this to a bar chart, I can look at pie charts, line charts, or I can just look at the table, which will give me the raw transaction information. From here, I can drill down and do a number of different high-level filters. So we could have a look at cloud applications, and this will tell me that my highest is Google search. So I have a number of filter options that I have available to me to filter down. I could build more filters here on the left-hand side, or I could look at this and say Google search, tell me about this, and drill down by the server IP information, traffic information, user information. So let's have a look at user information, and it'll tell me that I've got a couple of different users that have used Google search. The first one is myself, M. Ryan. Then I have a couple of transactions here which we weren't able to authenticate for some reason. Invariably this is because they've come from my fixed location, and this was traffic that was generated probably by a command line, a curl, or a browser before SSL inspection occurred, that they were able to inspect and get the key information. So we will see all of our users, and there are a couple of specific Zscaler users, no auth protocol, bypass URLs, so URLs that did not have SSL inspection enabled, or specific user agents such as curl for which we couldn't authenticate. Now we can further drill down into this and look at the raw logs to see exactly what was happening for that transaction. We've drilled down, we can see these transactions. This was pack file, it was SSL inspected. We can see this information here. If we have a look at all the different fields that we have available to us, I could look at things like the user agent, the gateway information, operating system if that was available to us, if it was using client connector. All of these different attributes are logged for every single transaction, so we'd be able to filter on this and say, okay, let's have a look at the user agent here, and in this case it was Chrome for Mac and a specific user agent string. So for some reason this was logged as a transaction, it couldn't identify the user. We see the client IP, the external IP, the server IP address I was connecting to. Further analytics, we can look at mobile information. If I had any mobile devices passing through the cloud, which I don't, firewall will show me the firewall transactions, and again we can drill down, we can sort this by, let's take rule name. So I've got my Zscaler bypass, firewall filtering rule, and the proxy traffic. So let's drill down a bit further and look at the user information. Again, I've got some traffic that couldn't be identified as a specific user. I might want to consider blocking that traffic, but for this user I can then drill down and look at the source IP information. So Mark Ryan's come from a number of different source IPs. This will be my Mac, and this will be my two different Windows clients. And this is my external IP address. So we drill down in this further, we can look at the raw logs, and we can see those transactions again for that user. Mark Ryan from Milton Keynes, my client IP address on my device, my destination IP address, and again I have a number of other fields that I could add in based on what was logged. And we can see all the information about how those transactions were processed, destination information, whether we did a DNAT or anything with the packet. We can look at the DNS traffic if we were logging all the DNS traffic. So again, we can drill down here, we could look at the raw logs, and we could add filters here on the left hand side as well. So a number of different ways to drill into this, and we see that what the IP address of the DNS server was, and the information of what it resolved to and what we did with that transaction. And we also have logs here for threat insights and tunnel insights for my GRE and IPsec tunnels, and any threats that were passing through from my users. So a number of different high-level reports from my dashboards, analytical reports to compare my configuration and peer comparison, and then insights where I can drill into the raw data and filter based on multiple criteria. To help me drive diagnostics of problems, as well as understanding user activity, might make me reconsider some of the filtering policy that I need to do to allow, deny, or caution for user activity.